Hey, what's up you guys? How's it going? It's Papa, and today I'm going to be showcasing you guys my updated, brand new support ABC deck profile that I have been playing for the current format. And honestly, I know I say this in every deck profile I do, but I wouldn't say it if I didn't think so. But this deck is a lot of fun. With the newest set, Maze of the Master, finally legal in the TCG, I know a lot of people were hyped about Odeon support, and a lot of people were hyped about Set and Tachyon, but let's be honest, I am very excited about ABC. Now, if you're new here, the very first video that I have ever posted on my channel was actually an ABC deck profile that I was playing during COVID. But with the new support that we got in Maze of the Master, it makes ABC very playable, and honestly, I'll get into it when I do. But if you're looking for a very budget deck to play in the upcoming format, this deck will be very good. Even when we do get the upcoming ban list, I don't know if it's going to happen when I'm making this video or if it's going to be happening after, but regardless, whenever the ban list comes, I can guarantee you, as sure as I am that this is my right hand and that this is Tour Guide, it is going to be safe. But before we do get into the deck profile, I want to ask you guys to please like and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh content, because if you like and subscribe, it lets me know that I am doing something right. Also, one more thing before we get into it, I wanted to go ahead and shout out all my friends that are playing in YCS Las Vegas this weekend. I am unfortunately not there, but I do wish everyone that is going the absolute best of luck. But let's go ahead and jump into the deck profile because I'm really excited. Oh yeah! So starting off with the main deck, we are on 2 copies of A Assault Core, we are on 3 copies of B Buster Drake, and we are on only 2 copies of C Crush Wyvern. With the new support in the latest set, we do have new Union monsters, so you can't max out on these, and honestly, even if you were maxing out on these, I would probably just recommend not to do that in general. You do play the extra pieces because we are playing unauthorized reactivation in the deck, but honestly, you need the other unions that do just a little bit more for you than these, because these honestly kind of hinder you. Buster Drake being, of course, the best one because it is a non-once per turn add from deck to hand, and honestly, all the union monsters are not once per turn, so we love that. But these cards are still very busted. I remember with the time when people were just not playing multiple copies of C Crush Wyvern because they thought it was the weakest, but with Lynx, this honestly is just one of the strongest cards that you can play. And then, of course, the cards are also color coordinated for their own separate effects as well. So Assault Core, since it is the effect monster, essentially, whatever is equipped to it is unaffected by monster effects. B Buster Drake, anything that is equipped to it is unaffected by spells, and C Crush Wyvern, anything that is equipped to it is unaffected by traps. But that's going to do it for the ABC pieces. More on the ABC engine just a little bit later. We are playing the 1 copy of Union Driver. This is a blast from the past, but of course this card is still very strong when you're playing any kind of union based deck. This card reads that you can banish it while it is equipped to a monster, and you can equip an appropriate monster from the deck to the monster that it was equipped to. And then basically the good thing about this is that you equip this off of the Union Hanger, and then basically you banish itself to basically get a new piece, and then that piece can go ahead and special summon itself out to the field, but you only need 1 because you definitely do not want to draw it, so we just opt for that. And since we are playing unauthorized reactivation, you can also use this to equip as well. Now for the real heat, we play the 1 copy of X-Head Cannon. This card is actually one of the more vital parts of the deck. Actually, the best card in the deck is actually the X-Cross Cannon. This is the newest Union support. This card is absolute gas. What it does is that if you control a light machine fusion or union monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can equip 1 appropriate light machine union monster from your deck to this card as an equip spell, as if it were equipped by that monster's effect. And then you can also not special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for light monsters. So basically what this card does is that you can get access to your B Buster Drake, you can get access to C, A, the other Y and Z pieces. The only thing that sucks about this card is that it is not searchable off of Union Hanger. More on that on just a little bit. And then we are on 2 copies of Y Yarehead. I don't know what the names and how they came up with everything here like came into place, but honestly, just not my cup of tea personally. This card is also very good. This card reads is that if this card is special summoned, you can equip 1 level 4 light machine monster from your hand or graveyard to this card as an equip spell. And then all the extra pieces have the extra effect that if you use their effects, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for light monsters. However, the effect that is not once per turn is the actual equipping effect, so that is very nice. And then of course, since it is a union monster, you can go ahead and attach it to any appropriate monster, and then it basically happens to where it is is protected. If that monster was going to be destroyed by a card effect, then you can go ahead and destroy this instead. And then for the last Z piece, we only play one copy of it because it is arguably the worst one. Z Zillion Tank reads that if this card is special summoned, you can equip one of your banished level 4 light machine monsters to this card as an equip spell, and then you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except light monsters. Shocking, am I right?
I feel shocked.
And then same thing, Union Monster just has the same kind of union effects, just a bunch of unions unionizing, doing its own little kit and caboodle. But that is it for the new Union package, so very cool there. One of the reasons I really wanted to play this deck too is we get to play 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier. Now, arguably, I have seen people play 2, I have seen people not play this at all, but you can go ahead and play whatever your preference is. The only issue that I have with this deck is that it doesn't really set up a whole lot of negates. It's really just forms of interruption. So I opt to play the Galaxy Soldier package for that reason. You want to be able to have some kind of protection effect. So being able to access Infinity is very doable, like your mother. You have many ways of getting to Galaxy Soldier. If you do open up the Galaxy Soldier, then you don't have to go the Galaxy Photon Dragon line, so that just makes it to where you can just use those 2 level 4s to just make more link plays, which is just a little bit more suboptimal. For the brand new support, we have 3 copies of Union Activation. This card is basically a powerhouse, honestly. So don't get me wrong, this card is not amazing, but it is still very strong and needed for the deck. Basically, this card is a Rhoda. It reads that you can send 1 Light Machine normal or Union monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and you can add 1 Light Machine monster with the same attack, but a different original name from the deck to the hand. So this is why I brought up earlier that X-Head Cannon is so important, because if you send it the X-Head Cannon, then that can get you access to your X-Cross Cannon because it's the same original type, and it is just a different name. The second effect reads, which doesn't really come up too much because I don't really play anything. And then the second effect of this card, I think this is just really for like the Kaiba deck because these are technically Kaiba's cards. It reads, if you special summon 3 Light Machine monsters at the same time while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card and add 1 monster with 3,000 or more attack from your deck to your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon that monster. But there's nothing that we normal summon in the deck. I mean, granted, if you really wanted to, you can play Nibiru, but I don't. So that's really the end of that. And then of course, my favorite Union card ever is Union Hanger. This card is just busted. Being able to search a piece and then being able to equip a piece from the deck is just very strong. And then rounding off the Union support, we do play 3 copies of Unauthorized Reactivation because this basically makes it to where you can play around certain hand traps. If you normally your Cross Cannon and they try to impermit, you can chain this and you can equip a C from the deck to the Cross Cannon, and then when it resolves, your effect goes through because the Cross Cannon is actually just no longer affected by trap cards. So that's it for the rest of the Union support. That is all gas right here. These cards basically are just like all engine. It's a lot of engine, don't get me wrong, but the whole point of this deck is to have fun and just, you know, catch people off surprise, like whatever it is. This deck is rogue. It is very rogue, so it's not going to be super meta breaking, but this is just what we're working with. So it leaves you some room for some non-engines. So of course we do play some. We play the 3 copies of Ash Blossom. I guess these aren't technically non-engine. These were supposed to be put in place with the other cards, but we do play the 1 Terraforming and the 1 Pot of Prosperity. So yeah, they're just definitely needed. It just helps with the consistency. And then we play 1 copy of Called by the Grave. It's just very strong all around. 3 copies of Talents, because if this deck does get hand trapped, you need as much help as you can get, honestly. And if you can keep extending, then you can just go for the hand rip. It really is just up to whatever your situation is, but we do play the 3 talents for that reasoning. And then we play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence just because it's just the more versatile hand trap, and it is also very affordable now thanks to the new Blue Eyes structure deck. And the last card we play in the deck is an Angel Statue Azaroon because we are playing Solo Hat Rabbit. But that is going to go ahead and round off the engine slash non-engine for the deck. We are on 40 cards, no more, no less. I am very happy with the list that I have right now. We're on 40 cards in the main deck, no more, no less. I'm very, very happy with the list that I'm working with. The testing has just been very amazing, and I am going to be taken to the locals this week, so I am very much looking forward to that. But 40 cards, and then we get to the extra deck, which is my favorite part of the deck, honestly. We get to play 2 copies of ABC Dragon Buster. Very strong card, and honestly it's just been so long. I'm so happy to see these again. Also looking forward to Stampede because this is announced as a quarter century rare, so best believe when that comes out I am going to be upgrading my babies. One of the big boss monsters of the deck is the brand new Xyz Hyper Dragon Cannon. This card is very similar to ABC Dragon Buster. This card reads that it must be special summoned from the extra deck by banishing the above materials from the field and or graveyard. So basically, again, same requirement as ABC Dragon Buster. This card reads is that once per opponent's turn, quick effect, you can discard one card and target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. And then you can banish this card from your field or graveyard and reveal one level 8 Light Machine fusion monster in your extra deck. And you can special summon up to 3 of the fusion materials mentioned from it from the graveyard or banishment. So basically this is to where, like, if say like your Buster got put back off of an effect, or if basically this got like Kaiju'd or something, then you can just tribute this and you can still summon your like ABC pieces that were banished. So it's just another way to just help the deck grind. I kind of want to try playing 2 of this, but the extra deck is kind of tight, but it really just depends on your situation. And then one of the cool reasons to play this deck is Union Controller. Basically, Union Controller is what gets this deck kind of running after your cross resolves. It reads that this must be special summoned from the extra deck by banishing the above cards I control. And then if this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can add 1 spell or trap from your deck to your hand that mentions Union Monster in its text. And then once per turn during the main phase, you can special summon 1 Light Machine, Normal, or Union Monster from your hand. When this card is summoned, you get access to your Union Hanger because it does mention Union Monster. It gets you access to the unauthorized reactivation. It gets you access to the News Searcher. This card just does so much for you, so you definitely want to be playing it, and it is very key in the combo as well. I will be doing a separate video as to what the deck actually does, so if you guys want to see that, please leave a comment down below and like this video. But that's it for the fusion lineup. Of course, we are going to be playing some XZs because we need some, since the extra deck is kind of tight, but you do have to play mainly light monsters because you do get locked into lights off of your combos. So we do play the 1 copy of Exciton Knight because it is just one of the better board wipes, and then we play 1 copy of Galaxy Photon Dragon. Card is very key for searching Galaxy Soldier, and that's basically all that it is here to do. The other cute thing is that other light monsters I control gain 500 attacks, so that's very nice. And then of course we are playing Cyber Dragon Infinity and Nova. Infinity, again, just there to be that extra form of negation. You could play cards such like Therion Regulus. I was testing it. I honestly didn't like it, so I ended up cutting it from the full build altogether. And then since we are playing Xyz, I do play the 1 Zeus. Basically, it's there because if you're playing against like a deck like Ryzeal, if you happen to play Triple Tactics Talents and take their like detonator or something, then you can attack with it, slap this on top, and then just feel really good after. And it's a light, so very important. And then I'm also playing 1 Zeus. You will brick. This is ABC. This is 2025. It is just bound to happen, so just be ready for it. And if you need a guy, Typhon's there. And then of course we play some links. We play the 1 copy of Scylla Hat Rabbit for the Azurine, like I said. And then we play 1 Platinum Gadget. This card is very busted and important in any kind of ABC deck. 1 Line of the Light Charmer, shouldn't have to say why. 1 copy of Underworld Goddess, and then we are playing the 1 Nightmare Griffin because there is a combo that you can do where you can Griffin lock. But like I said, I will be getting into that in a separate video. Other than that, that is actually going to go ahead and do it for the deck profile. I know I've been talking for a little bit too long, but it is a brand new deck and I want to make sure that I let out as much information as I can because I think this deck is very cool. I think it is a little bit of a sleeper deck. Maybe for locals. I mean, you could probably get a few wins at like a regional per se, but I don't think it's going to be super meta breaking or anything like that. This is just a fun deck I wanted to try out, and who knows, maybe I'll be working on it in the future a little bit more depending on how everything goes. But I really do think that this deck is very good. Other than that, I want to ask you guys to please, like I said, like and subscribe for the video. Lets me know that I'm doing something right, and let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. But until next time, guys, I will catch you all in my next video.